And welcome back, everybody. TGD today. It is Tech Talk with Al Cloyd. Good morning, Dr. Grind.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
Echo.
That's right.
Echo.
You can't beat it.
Dr. Grind, HR3, Godfather.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
The three amigos.
How are you?
Good. You?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah?
Yep.
There you go.
You calmed down from our first session here, the round table?
Doubtful.
Okay. All right. Tips for World Am players. In other words, next week, the World Amateur Handicap Championship. What is that? Goodness, gravy alive.
Somebody's getting a Skype call.
Somebody.
Not me.
Is it you? Somebody is.
All right, carry on.
Good
Yeah,
deal.
Carry on. It's over there.
All right, World Am Handicap Championship next week here in the Grand Strand. 3,000 players, I guess, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely.
The golf director will be every night at the world's largest 19th hole,
Yes.
broadcasting live. Our first year live. I'm nervous. I'm getting jitterbugs right now. What do you
I'm
think?
telling you, I can't wait. I mean, I'm looking forward to it big time.
Yeah?
Big time. So basically, we'll start at the top of the bag and kind of work our way down. Driver. I think that they need to grab something that they're comfortable with. It's not a time to be going out, looking for new drivers. Let's get one that we're comfortable with, that we know we can hit fairways with.
Well, let's characterize that. Now, for the low scratch golfer, they're probably going to be playing whites. Not too many of the courses move them back to the tips.
That's correct.
Just for pace of play, basically. Yeah. And then for the other flights that move up to the middle high handicaps all the way up to the high handicappers, including the super seniors, they're real generous with the pin or the tee placements. Mm-hmm. So, the courses aren't going to be that long. You're not really needing a lot of distance.
That's what I'm saying. Grab old reliable.
Yeah,
Trusty.
You better be hitting some fairways though.
Grab your trusty drivers. Is what I'm recommending. If you've got one that you have a lot of confidence in, like I say, I don't like seeing, especially on a tournament like this, somebody jumping into a brand new driver right before a tournament. I like to see them, get a little used to it, have a few rounds under their belt with it. So that's my little driver tip.
Okay.
For next fairway woods, I would say at the point, this is not something you really go monkeying around a whole lot with, before a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of going to leave pretty much what you got be. You want to check all your grips, make sure your grips are in good shape. Make sure your clubs are nice and clean, all your grooves are cleaned out.
Mm-hmm.
Hybrids, I think, are going to be real big this year down here. That's all I hear from, my customers and from just talk in general, how the 3 irons are disappearing, the 4 irons are disappearing, now 5 irons and even 6s. So I think we're going to see a lot more hybrids in the bag down here this year, just because they're just so much easier to hit. I had a conversation with a gentleman this morning, and he was all about the hybrids. He said, I went a 3, now I've got a 4. He says, I tell you what, boy, he said, it ain't gonna be long. Well, I'm gonna have a 5 in my bag. So hybrids are big. Irons. Only best advice I can give everybody on the irons is just make sure that you're fit. For your irons, like we talk about all the time. That you've got everything working in the right direction. There. Past that, wedges. Something that you feel comfortable with. I would recommend bringing maybe a couple different bounces, maybe a high bounce set and a low bounce set. A lot of people don't have that, so in other words, just bring what you got. Make sure your grooves are sharp. You're going to want to get as much spin, as you can get while you're out there. And roll over to the putter. I say old trusty. The same kind of with the driver, just the putter that you feel the most comfortable with, the one that you've got the better rapport with, one you've cussed the least.
And now we're into putters. Why don't you comment on the greens that they'll see down here and, how they should handle that putter as far as, is there any certain things they should do with it or just, trust their stroke, or if they get down here and they realize, well, I'm coming up short on everything, is there something they can do maybe in Bermuda grasses or whatever?
Well, I mean, there are a couple of golf courses that still have bent grass down here, but not many. And the most of what everyone's going to be playing on is Bermuda grass, different versions, obviously. But if it's Bermuda grass, folks, it's got grain in it. And I would say with your putter, there is a minimum of 4 degrees of loft that you would have on that putter, period. If you go below that,
Yep.
you get on grainy greens, you're going to struggle.
Big time.
And grain with the, like Al was talking about the wedges as well. I mean, I would put as much bounce. I would have wedges with the most bounce that I could stand in them, because with the rain that we've had throughout the summer and the way Bermuda grass grows in warm, humid temperatures, the rough's pretty thick too as well. So,
Oh, definitely.
Can I ask a question back to the putter on that? What does the 4 degrees of bounce do?
Of loft?
Loft.
I mean, of
Yeah.
loft, excuse me. 4 degrees of loft do for
the key to all of this, Jeff, is the fact the less loft, people look at it and say, well, guys on tour are putting with 4 degrees. Some at the minimum they're putting with 3, but they're putting on perfect surfaces.
Yeah.
So loft itself, when you look down, if you can see the face of the putter, you should be okay.
Yeah.
Where you can see
Right.
the angle of it. If you can't, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because the ball's going to hop. Without the loft, it drives the ball down. It's no different than a teacher telling you to hit up on a putt.
Yeah.
It drives the ball into the ground.
So the loft
makes
is going to
hop.
make it start rolling
It
sooner.
makes it skid
Yeah.
Well,
so
if-
that it can roll. It creates a minor backspin as it comes off the putter so that it gets on top of the grass and can roll properly. If it doesn't, the ball's going to hop, and then it's all over the
See, I'd heard you guys say that before, but I didn't really understand
Yep.
technically what caused it.
Yes, that's
What-
exactly it.
What happens is the weight of the ball itself on the green, the ball goes down into the green just a baby bit, just with the weight. And the 4 degrees of loft gets the ball up and out of its own weight.
Yeah, it gets it out of the slight indention, because the grass is going to give from the weight. No different than you see footprints on a green when you walk on them. So,
Nice description, boys.
That's
Thank
a
you.
great explanation.
good.
That helps a lot.
And
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Scotty Cameron explained it to me when I went into the studio
Me too.
one year, and he sat there and he said, all right, and he put the ball in a hole on AstroTurf. And he goes, now hit this putt. And I'm like, it's in a hole. He said, shut up and just hit the putt. I said, okay. So I hit the putt. Well, you see it comes out higher out of the hole with the loft, but the camera, I mean, he had all these cameras from different angles, slow motion and all that. You could see, and it had a line all the way around it. You could see that line going here, and he said, now hit up on it. And so I hit up on it, and all of a sudden you never saw the line go this way. You saw this thing start, because it hopped, it jumps up, and because it drives it down into it, and now it hops higher. You're talking the ball coming off a putter, say it's that much, where if you hit up on a putt, it's going to go that much.
Yep.
In other words, you're driving the ball into the ground first, and then it pops
And
out.
then it makes it hop. And so coming out of that hole, the ball was literally coming
So you could
3
hop-
to 4 inches
Yeah.
off the ground out of this hole that he had in there to show you how loft is so important to get the
And
ball
we've all
rolling.
had those putts where, your playing partners go, oh, it hopped right off the face on you. Well, that's you driving it into the ground.
Yeah.
Well, it could be, and also the other opposite can happen. You can actually put too much loft on the putter and just pop it up
Oh,
as
and get it
well,
airborne.
and get it
Yeah.
airborne.
Yeah.
So there's a pointed diminishing return on both sides of loft. And what I find is that a particular individual, some people have forward press and some people have reverse press. Okay, and depending upon where you're at impact, with your press determines the loft rate. So if you're addressing the ball and your shaft's parallel and everything looks good, and at impact you're at 4 degrees, that's what we're looking for. But some people have their hands pressed forward, so all of a sudden they've taken a 4-degree putter and they've turned it into a 2-degree putter. And then when they're stroking, they're driving the ball into the ground. So what you have to do is figure out at impact where that loft rate's at and actually adjust the putter so that you're getting that 4 degrees of loft. Not that the putter head itself is 4 degrees, is that you're getting 4 degrees of loft from the putter itself.
Yeah, that's your.
Is this something you can adjust in the shop?
Yes,
Al?
sir.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a gauge made by Mr. Mitchell from Mitchell Golf Products. Super great guy. And it attaches right to the putter shaft. And it gives us 2 readings. It gives us a reading that lets us know how much forward or reverse press that you have on the putter. And then it also gives a reading on the side that tells us what line angle is optimal for your stroke. So it's very, very neat.
So it's a cause and effect type of meter.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's just no different than fitting for golf clubs. You have to be fit for your putter.
Oh, no
I mean,
doubt.
you can like something all you want, but
Yeah.
if it doesn't work and you're not, it doesn't. It's not set up right. It's irrelevant.
What I love, I had a gentleman come in yesterday to the Performance Center, and he had an Odyssey putter with him with the pistol grip on it.
Oh, yeah.
And he came in and said, George, I'm playing in the World Am next week, and what can you tell me about these Super Strokes?
Right.
And I'm sitting there looking at him going, how long have you been putting with a conventional pistol grip? He goes, oh, God, 10 years. And I said, here you are playing in the World Am next week, and all of a sudden you want to put a Super Stroke on it?
Right.
I said, do you realize what that's going to do to your stroke? And he goes, well, I just need to get my hands out of it. And I said, you're just now determining that? I said, I don't think you got enough time between now and next Monday to get practice in to make yourself comfortable.
Yep. Like that's what kind of what I'm getting at.
Do you
is,
agree?
Yeah.
It's a different feel. There's no
Yeah.
question. I'm talking about not even just from. The
It's
way
gonna
the
make that
feels,
putter-
but the way it feels in your hand.
Oh, there's more weight up there. There's more. It opens up your muscles in your hands. It's
It's not something I would recommend doing right before a tournament.
Of course, if the
But
man
it's
can't
like you
ham it up a
mentioned-
wash tub, it wouldn't hurt him a bit.
that's true.
Yep.
But the point is too, going back to like your driver comment, don't change anything now.
No.
Bring Mr. Trusty.
Yep.
I mean, if you're going to spend this kind of money and come here and stay for a week and play golf in this thing, come with your guns loaded and be ready to go.
Come with
Don't-
something you know, right?
Yeah,
That's
don't
exactly
bring
right.
Something in
Well-
here that you hadn't sighted in yet.
I
know?
got you sidetracked, and when you started talking about the wedges and the bounce, and got you back to the putter. So I continue on because I think this is interesting as can be.
Let's
'cause, you
let's go into the psyche,
Right,
okay? And we
right.
got the guy here
Yep.
to help us here. World Am participants. This may be multiple years that they played in it. This may be the first year, as you've mentioned before. Hugh's given the tips here at the golf director, so listen for those. They'll be like 1 minute tips,
Definitely.
Or 5 minute as you
if
put
if
it.
you try if you do everything you can, folks, try to stay awake during them because actually there's some snippets of good information. So snippets. Ow, he hit me. Okay, so pro, real quick, top of your head, you come with what you have in a comfort level,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. What can these players do? First day, I mean, I remember the first time I played in it, I was acting like it was a U.S. Open. And all of a sudden, I found myself changing my pre-shot routine. I found myself reading the first putt in 5 minutes over a putt.
So my tip, Jeff, that you ran before the show doesn't sound so stupid now, does it?
I thought it sounded good when you read it.
Exactly.
Lord.
But is that not exactly what I was talking about?
That's right.
Okay?
Exactly what
Yep.
you were talking
It's
about.
about staying in your comfort zone and getting to the psyche of your clubs and everything else, like where we're going with this. That's what that's about.
And it's so, obvious that that's what you ought to do. But then you think about how 90% of us go play golf. We're hurrying. We get to the golf course. We're in a hurry. If we go to the range and hit balls, we hurry through them. Then we hurry back to get in the cart, and then we're on the first tee. The way you explained it makes all the sense in the world, though. I mean, that's the worst thing you could do to start off in a tournament as important as World Am. I mean,
And it's the way that I was raised from the time I played in my first junior event until now.
yeah,
My dad taught me we're going to get up and eat breakfast.
yeah.
If you got to throw up or go to the bathroom or whatever you got to do, go do that. And then we go to the golf course, get out, hit a few putts, then go get loose, hit some balls, hit a few putts, and it's an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, my
Right, yeah.
everyday
Right.
routine when I was playing golf,
Right.
an hour was set aside. That was before I teed off. That
Yeah.
was for me to get ready,
Right.
get comfortable, and go. That way I was never in a rush.
See what the swing was giving you that day. I can't tell you how many people I've said, one day you may go out there and you're hitting a draw with everything. The next day you may go out there and you couldn't repeat a draw if you had to,
Right.
if
And it's
they
like-
held a gun to your head.
And again, that's what Daddy would say. He'd say, "Look, you got to dance with the one you brung with you, not try to pick one up while you're there because it's you." And you've got to be able to figure it out and get comfortable and go. Well, that hour, some people say, an hour, I'll get bored. Well, that's your own stupidity. I'm sorry, because that's where you need to take time to pay attention to yourself, your nerves, your emotions, your swing, your tempo. It gives you the time to adjust and change. Because, I mean, if you're going 100% on the practice tee getting ready to play in the World Am, and as soon as they call your name on the first tee, it's going to $125. And it's out of control. You know, it's no different than watching Days of Thunder, Jeff.
And then you hit the wall after about the first 2 holes when everything gets slow.
And all of a sudden you boom. But it's, you know, you listen to him talk about, you know, look, loose is slick and, you know, on the verge at fast, but on the verge of out of control. You know, where tight, and that's where it helps you get through that. That hour gives you a chance to get yourself under control to where when you go to the tee, it's like, okay, ho-hum, you know. And if you're a little bit tired, that ain't so bad. Yep. Because now when your adrenaline does kick up, you're ready to go.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Real quick, talking about the first tee or whatever, one thing that I've always tried to tell myself is I'm not going to win it in the first tee in the first day, but I can sure as hell lose it.
No, absolutely you can. And you're not going to win the tournament in the first day. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to win the tournament in the first day, but I can sure play my way out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt.
And we've seen that in the past with some of the stories I've shared just from the World Am. You know, the guy that comes here as a 2 handicap and doesn't break 100 in 4 days. Okay?
Well, and George, it's no different than these folks coming here, and I don't mean to be demeaning in any way in saying this, but it's a matter of how many of you are from the United States that are NFL fans, or you know your major, you know, baseball fans, and then people from overseas, soccer and whatever else, you know,
cricket.
You're always, you have your one team you love to watch. And if they play poorly, you are lambasting the manager, the coach, whoever it is that's in charge of preparing that team about their game plan. So when you go play the golf course and you play poorly, don't get mad at anyone but yourself because you haven't set a game plan for yourself. I mean,
Good
you
point.
go play a golf course, you better have a game plan for each hole and the way you want to play it. Now, there are variables to that, no question. You know, you're going to hit a bad shot, you're going to hit several. But you have your game plan so that when you get there, you're comfortable when you're standing on that tee, not sitting there going, oh, my gosh, what am I supposed to do here? What am I going to do? I just made a – no, you stick to your game plan and you play golf.
Yeah, running back to the cart to see where the hole's going and, you know,
Yeah, it's a matter of preparation.
And I would imagine both you guys as professionals in this industry if you get on that first tee and you spray that driver right, left, wherever you spray it, and you get on the second tee, it's a par 4, whatever, you would recommend pulling out the 3-wood and maybe going with something a little bit more controlled and a little bit, although you're going to be a little bit shorter, you may not be as long as those other competitors. At least that's a club that allows you to hit more fairways.
Well, and again, that's part of game planning. I mean, knowing that, you know, if you do struggle with the driver, how else can I get myself around this golf course and be competitive? And that's, you know, my dad was the worst driver of the golf ball in the world, and he would hit more 3-woods, but he played with a stronger 3-wood. I mean, it's in the Georgia Hall of Fame. It's something that it's where you're comfortable. You can put the ball in play because golf is point A to point B to point C.
And we saw this with Tiger last week.
Yep. Well, I think it's just keeping, you know, for like a lot of guys, you know, it's keeping not getting mad at yourself. I think that's probably one of the worst things, you know. And when I played seriously, if I had a bad hole, and I'd beat myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I just, you know,
and that continues,
and it continues. And I found, you know, that it doesn't accomplish anything. You know, I mean, that you're better off with a positive attitude. You know, just staying in the moment and just don't get too down on yourself. And if you hit a bad shot, so what? You know, let's make the next shot better.
Well, everybody's human.
Yeah, everybody's human.
Yeah.
You
can be Jordan Spieth. You're going to hit a bad golf shot. But the question is, how do you get yourself to the next one to figure out how to save it or how to get something out of it where you don't hurt yourself so bad?
Yep.
And a lot of people in this golf tournament hurt themselves because they keep trying to do something that they're not capable of doing.
I think also, too, that a lot of people hurt themselves in this tournament and it may even cause them not to come back and do it again, in the fact that they come with the wrong mentality, in the fact that they should come here, they're getting the opportunity to play in a rules-governed tournament, okay? Because we hear the horror stories every year. Yeah, he said, "Is that good?" Or he bent over and picked it up, or he swept his ball away and didn't finish
or
a
he
putt,
changed his driver,
or he,
you know,
or the first fairway he goes out and he nudges the ball, like he would at his home course, and of course he gets called for a penalty. The point is use this as a fun week.
Oh, definitely. That's exactly right.
Have fun with it. Enjoy it.
Yep.
You're not a professional golfer.
Exactly.
If you were, you wouldn't be playing in this.
Yep.
You agree?
it's true.
And take the opportunity, to meet the people you're playing with.
This
I mean,
is not
you
even,
never know.
This
I
is
mean,
not
you
even
just
your club
never-
championship.
Yeah, you just
this
never-
this is not something that you're sitting there confronted with people that you see every day in your walk of life. You're meeting new people.
Yep.
Enjoy meeting those people.
Exactly. You never know who. You just
you
never know
who.
Yep.
And just think about it this way, folks. You've gone through the handicap submission. You've had your handicap reviewed. They've put you in this flight. You're going to have about 100 players in that flight with you. I don't care what flight you're in. And you are all in the same boat. Now, there's going to be some people in that flight that are going to shoot 4 rounds of the best of their life, and they're probably going to bust out, and they'll probably end up in the championship round at the Die Club next Friday. Okay? Fine. It happens.
Yep.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
There are those that come in here sandbagging. They do anything and everything they can to win this.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. More power to them. You just got to have the mentality, I'm going to go out and shoot 85 each day. That's my number.
Whatever your number is.
And it's me and the
golf course. Yep.
And having fun. Would you agree, Pro?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to you look at it this way, George, it's one of those things that, if you come here and you happen to have 4 days of your career round, great.
You're going to get a 5th.
And then you're going to get a chance to go try again, But it's about coming here, enjoying. I mean, the convention, the 19th hole is an absolute blast, folks, as far as food and all the vendors and everything that's going on.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
The atmosphere. The golf courses you play are fantastic. They're all in great shape right now because we've had a really good summer. And come have fun. Just enjoy good golf. And guess what? You'll probably play better than you've ever played in your life because you're not worried about trying to be the best.
And
You're having a good time. You're relaxed.
What's even better, and I wish back when I was playing this thing pretty regular, which was the 80s and the 90s, we didn't have the social media. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have all these other things. And these people that you meet here and you get to know, you may only play 18 holes of golf, but you're spending 5-6 hours with them.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, folks, just be prepared for that. If you're playing, you ain't going to play a round that's less than 5 to 5.5 hours. So you might as well just plan on it because you're going to have those 12 handicappers out there that swear up and down that they're playing in the U.S. Open, and Golf Channel's got cameras all over the place. So they're going to slow to a crawl in their pre-shot routines, in their putt reading. It's and God forbid they get into the woods, because then it's going to be exactly 5. They will remind you, I've only been out here 4 minutes and 55 seconds. I've got 5 more seconds to look for this thing.
Yep. So
it's going to happen. You laugh. It happens every year.
But I've got a few more little things other than the psyche
great.
part.
Go. We got off.
Okay, so I check all equipment for any type of failure. You know what I mean? Make sure all your heads, nothing's coming loose. Your grooves are in good shape. Okay, balls. Make sure you got plenty of balls. You don't want to run out of balls when you're out there. Some of this stuff sounds pretty simple.
You're off the course,
but you know what I mean. It's it's stuff that I feel is very important. Make sure you have plenty of tees. Okay, umbrella, rain gear. Make sure you got extra gloves, towels. Make sure your shoes are in good shape. Extra laces, extra spikes. Make sure you got a divot tool. A small first aid kit, just in case somebody gets hurt while they're out there. Energy bars, protein, to keep you going while you're out there. Water, electrolytes, and there you go.
And don't go, folks, if you get off the fairways into the bushes, trees, don't just go reaching your hand in there to get a ball out that you think is
Please no.
yours. Please don't.
Please no.
There's a lot of creepy crawly things
Yes, sir.
that are here in the Grand Strand. I would love to say we're Hawaii and we don't have creepy crawly things, but we're not Hawaii. And every year it just seems like somebody, for whatever reason, gets a hair up their backside and says, "Oh, I see 2 balls over there." And they instead of playing in the World Am, they all of a sudden decide that they need extra balls for their bag, and they go traipsing into a marsh area or whatever, and they don't come out. We just lose them forever.
It's not that.
You know,
They
you
want
know.
to be a crocodile hunter.
they just disappear. It's UFOs.
It's the
It's
South.
aliens.
It's the South.
Yeah.
Yep.
Snakes, alligators, spiders. Yes, you
Yes.
always go in there with a
Ticks.
club in your hand.
Yep.
Keep an eye on
Always
ticks.
have a club in your hand.
Keep an eye on wild boars. I mean, Hugh will tell you about that.
All right, it's not easy.
But check yourself. You know,
Before you
bring
wreck
some
yourself.
bug spray. We do have those little
Yeah,
nets
bug
down
spray.
here.
That's a real good
Bring
one.
some bug
Yeah,
spray.
bug
So you
spray.
left
you
that
know.
out of your
I
first
did.
aid kit.
Doggone it,
Gummit
Al.
Al.
Yeah.
We look to you to be the tech guru here.
Man, I forgot bug spray.
Well,
but
that's
you
okay.
definitely going to want to bring it.
Yeah,
Well, that's what happens when you're Appalachian native or what did you call it?
Appalachian American.
Yeah,
I'm an
there you go.
Appalachian.
We have to be
That's
careful
right.
how we say that, though.
Yes, sir.
It's just like I can't bring up our new
Nope.
sponsors. So.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Okay, moving on.
Nope.
Al, what else you got?
That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
You know, let's wrap it up.
Yes,
We
sir.
want these folks to have a good time.
Big time. So they come back again. You know, that's what it's all about.
But I'm going to love Monday night. Be sure to catch us Monday evening live right here at thegolfdirector.com starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that correct, Mr. Jeff? I'm going to collect all the scorecards from that day, the scores.
This is going to be fun.
And we do this every year, folks. This is 3rd year running, is it? And Monday night, it'll be Al, Hugh, and George going through the score sheets, all the way from the scratch golfers coming in, what they call now the gross division.
Okay.
So there's no handicap.
Okay.
All the way up to, you know, those that are going to be in the triple digits.
Yeah.
And we're going to actually pull some players from the spectators. And we're going to get them up there. We're going to ask them.
All right. That
You
sounds
know,
good.
I try to do it every year in the stories. And maybe we can even get Mr. Monk up there if he's down working rules. So, I mean, the stories
Frank's
we get,
got
guys.
some of the best
Oh, I know.
stories in the world, no question.
Well, and you just wouldn't believe this one, George. I mean, there's no emotion. Frank's just, I don't know if anything ever surprises him, but then all of a sudden you see this little right upper lip. It turns up a little bit, and then that little gem that he just gave you is probably one that he hadn't seen before, but you don't know. He won't confirm that yay or nay, but you just never know.
Yeah, it'll be a blast.
So, it'll be a lot of fun.
So
And
tune
I'm-
in.
Yeah, I'd like to send out a birthday, as a happy birthday to Joe Ronaldo. He was a gentleman last year that had the scoring issue that we had on the show.
Oh, yeah.
So today's his birthday, and if you're listening out
Happy
there,
birthday, Joe.
happy birthday.
Is he coming back? Do you know?
He said he wouldn't.
I know.
He said
He was pretty adamant
He was
about
pretty
that.
adamant about it, but we'll see. I may give him a call later today just see how he's doing. But anyway, today's his birthday, and I know he's probably listening because it's his time of the year. And
Yeah.
so just happy birthday, buddy.
Yep, happy birthday. HR, you got anything else for the World Am participants?
No, sir.
Have a good time.
We shall.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So we look forward to seeing everybody, of course, at the convention center starting Monday all the way through Thursday at the world's largest 19th hole, this being the World Amateur Handicap Championship right here in the Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When you're visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out those featured course pages. And for you World Am participants, this is where you can go to learn more about those golf courses that you may be assigned to, which the assignments came out Monday. So you can now go online and check what courses you're playing, and you can go to the Golf Director, and we'll tell you how to play the doggone things.
And
so
if you don't, that's your
pretty
fault.
simple.
Yes.
It's pretty simple.
That's it.
You know, you want to listen to HR tell you how to play it, or you want to listen to The Godfather. That's your choice. Okay? All right, so
I surrender.
I know you do. If you need help with your next golfing vacation that you're coming down here to the Grand Strand, what do?
Just call Dave.
You can give us a call right here at the Golf Director at 844-GO-GOLF-1, 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand, and of course, I know you want to multiply view today's show. So to do that, just click on the TGD Radio or the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. We are now available on over 1
billion.
All right, boys, you got to do it together. 1
billion.
Thank you. Devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, and, of course, the Myrtle Beach Golf app.
That's right.
For HR3, Al Cloyd, Dr. Grind, and, of course, George Honeycutt. You've been listening to Tech Talk with Al Cloyd, and we want to thank Jeff behind the glass, but more importantly, we want to thank you for viewing and listening to us, and there's a lot more golf news and information coming up next.